What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. This is the Rise of the Forsaken campaign, hosted by yours truly, Jumbo Thick, and I am joined once again by my players, Mr. Jumbo Smooth and Mr. Doobie 209. If you would introduce yourselves.
Hello everyone, I'm Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf. He's a prospector on the career path of miner. I just got stabbed in the eye last episode.
You did.
Took some damage. Ready to explore this cave, this secret cave.
What's going on, guys? Your favorite character is back.
Oh,
Jimmy
yes.
209 is Seamus McGreedy.
Favorite character.
I'm looking a little beat up from the last encounter. I finally took some damage. I think the first time since my first appearance on the channel here. So.
Exactly. He almost died.
Not cool, bro.
Indeed. You're a tough cookie to crack, though. Couldn't poison you the entire time. That's fine. We'll work on it this episode. It'll be fine.
Oh, gee.
So, last we left off, our heroes, you guys have probably warned the name of heroes at this point, have been essentially lauded as the saviors of Sealburg by certain folk. Maybe not the common folk, but the higher-ups at least. You both were, after defeating the Beastman herd that had besieged Sealburg, doing a few dealings with a witch in the woods and the mysterious occurrences that keep appearing around you. You were contracted by the mining company foreman, Mr. Brandyfoot, to look into a possible alternate route into the mine, into the depths of the mines, as they appear to be having a lot of trouble with their explosives and just collapses and things of that sort. There's nothing dubious of the nature about it at all, but they are trying to find a workaround, and Mr. Brandyfoot seems to be somewhat familiar with the way the Dawi tend to build their mines, and has asked you both to look for a hidden entrance in the mountains somewhere up above, where you both set off after securing supplies from Mr. Gold. Marius got a hold of a definitely very high-quality rope. It's not going to break.
Yes.
It's going to work just the way you bought it for. Seamus,
Exactly.
you also acquired a nice bedroll that was not tainted in any way. So there's a plus
Mr.
on
Gold
that.
said it was imported, I believe.
Well, Mr. Gold did say, he said it was very fine fabric. So according to him, it's an import. Not sure how Arabian silk bedroll got into the southern parts of the empire in the mountains, but according to him, it happened. You guys both, after accepting this task, you were promised a silver piece if you completed it. You are required, according to Mr. Brandyfoot, to at least find a spot where this supposed secret entrance might lead you into the mine. I believe, Marius, you also charmed Mr. Brandyfoot into allowing you to take trophies of some kind to him, and he would pay you a few extra copper pieces.
Yes.
Brass pieces. My D&D and Warhammer gets mixed up sometimes. Same thing. Same principle. So you set off up the mountain. After a few tests and a few bad rolls, you ended up stumbling upon after you got rather high into the mountains, I might add. Very late in the afternoon, you stumbled upon a bunch of goblins fighting over some human corpses on a kind of a rock shelf. You foolishly attempted to fight the goblins without scouting the area completely. And Marius almost lost his eye. That was a good part, as a high point in the episode, in my opinion. And then the hidden goblins turned Seamus into a human pincushion. You guys did, however, defeat the goblins. 2 of them did get away, if you do remember. A few of them fell off the cliff to their doom. And I believe you did collect ears, didn't you, Marius?
Yeah, only 2 sets.
2 sets, yeah, because the other corpses are nowhere to be found right now, unless you go looking for them.
They fell off.
Yeah, they fell off the cliff. So you could find them if you want. It just might take you a little while. But the other 2 goblins did get away. You managed to remove the shafts from Seamus. Not too gently, I might add. There may have been some ripping and tearing, some arterial spray, briefly. But I mean, Seamus is a tough guy. He can handle it. So there is that, and that is where we left off. So, what would you guys like to do?
So we are inside this.
Oh yes,
tavern,
yes. I forgot you actually did open it up. So yes, Seamus, you did actually see that that vision of well, it wasn't really a vision. It was almost like deja vu, kind of the figure with the wide-brimmed black hat standing on the same shelf you are, and the open corridor, where then you somehow just knew there was a mechanism in this crack in the cliff face, opened it up, it slid a very thick piece of granite, or whatever this mountain's made of, slid out of place. You could hear the clicking and clacking of gears and mechanisms turning as the supposed sheer cliff wall moved, and there was an entrance about 8 to 10 feet tall and wide enough for 2 people to stand abreast. And that is exactly where we left off. So you guys are actually on the outside of this opening that you just discovered.
All right. I will like to go inside that opening, if possible.
Okay. Are you just like, are you? It's up to you. You're not really in a daze anymore than you were after failing your test. So you've kind of come to with the shifting of the door. So the path is open to you. You can choose to just run right in if you want, or basically I just need to know what speed are you going into the tunnel at.
Before we head in, actually, I'll probably kind of chime up. Seamus, what do you know? Look at this. It's crazy about this door, but can we take a second and look over these weird men, these weird demon men over here first?
I'm
referring to the...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I was referring to the samurai-looking gentlemen that are on
Samurai-looking gentlemen. Of course, Mary knows what a samurai looks like.
No, I'm just saying this as Jumbo Smooth.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, just referring to if our viewers forgot, there were several men who had holes in their chests.
Yeah, they're corpses. It's not necessarily in their chest, but there are holes in them all over the place. But I did also note that they were not as heavily armored as the person you found in the first episode. It seemed to be of a lesser caste, perhaps. It would be kind of obvious.
Okay. So I guess I just kind of motion them over to help me kind of look at these bodies and see if we can find anything else. I know I found I don't think I actually searched them. I searched the goblin.
You just searched the goblins. So it's up to you. Seamus, what would you like to do?
All right, there looks like a couple of dead men. What do you want to look at them for?
These men, friend, they actually had this... One of these men looks very similar to the gentleman at the beginning of our journey. He had some type of magic scroll with him. I want to examine the rest of these men. That they don't look like anyone I've ever seen before. No Imperial or Tony, and I don't.
We'll give them a look over.
All right.
All
I
right.
trot over to the closest one next to me, I guess. And
Okay.
Better.
Well, how about you
Look over.
both make me perception tests?
okay.
All right.
Mine's a 42 out of 30.
Yes, I like that. Would you like to re-roll it? I mean, we can start this early.
No, I'm gonna pray Seamus had a better roll.
Okay, go ahead, Seamus.
I got a 38 out of 51.
Okay, so
yeah.
you definitely see some things. There are, I do believe there were 3 corpses up here. One of them was the one that was already kind of looked over. This is the one that Marius walks over to, the one that he saw the goblins fighting over. You look down, and it looks like they were actually, in addition to just plucking things off his body, they were actually in the process of pulling flesh where they could. They hadn't taken off, like tried to peel off any of the armor or anything, but it looks like they were reaching into the hole around his like midsection and kind of peeling out the good stuff, as they might call it, and were probably eating it. You don't see much at all as you're kind of looking over this one corpse. It's obvious that what loot you picked up off of the goblin boss was what was on this corpse. So as you're busy kind of fumbling away at the corpse, kind of flipping it back and forth, getting its nasty congealed blood on you, mixed with that of the goblins that you spattered around the area. It's a very pleasant task, I might add. You don't find much of anything, essentially. Now, Seamus, on the other hand, you walk over to one of the corpses to your right if you're coming back out of the cave. It's kind of in the direction of where the goblins fled from. It looks like this one hasn't been moved, at least from what you can tell, because there's a giant hole in the actual rock nearby, and it looks like the body has barely shifted, like maybe just kind of slumped over a little bit. And as you walk over and you place your hand on the corpse, it shifts more and shifts onto the ground, and you actually see that the hole is about the size of your fist. You glance down into the hole, and you see just a faint glow. Just a faint greenish glow. It looks to be, you can't even tell how far down this hole goes, into the actual just stone. It goes deep, probably a few feet even through just a piece of stone. It's not, you don't have anything that you could reach in there with, but you do notice a very faint greenish glow. Go ahead and make me an intelligence test real quick. Plus 20.
All right. Oh, yeah. That's a 26 out of 61.
Okay, good. So you definitely make a connection immediately. This looks just like that huge ass stone you saw in the middle of the Warhorde camp. It appears to be made from the same material. You definitely immediately, and in fact, you kind of get a little bit of a whiff, and it definitely smells the same. And it's still glowing. You have no idea how long it's been in here, but you get the idea that whatever this is made out of is not only hazardous, but very long lasting. And it's what would you call that? I don't want to call it hazardous state. You get the idea. It's not something you should probably be touching with your past experiences. But it's definitely very potent, whatever it is lodged into this piece of rock. But you do make a note of that. Then you look down at the corpse itself. This one it doesn't appear to be looted at first, until you go to shift it over and you notice that the weapon it appears to have had is in 3 pieces around around the corpse. It looks like it had a very well crafted spear. It has been shattered into 3 different pieces. Looks like maybe some kind of blade. You're not sure. Pierced it a few times. The metal of the tip of the spear it appears to be the exact same metal as the dagger that you had Hugo Glasner look at. The one still, I'm assuming, do you keep it behind your back or on your hip?
Yeah, it's like behind my back.
Okay, yeah. So it's made of the same metal as the dagger you possess. So you immediately make that connection. You also notice that on his hip, where it looks like there is a sheath for a sword, but it is empty. Now, it is a full-size sword, though, judging from the sheath. So you get the idea that something or someone has purposely taken the weapons of these men that passed away. You're judging from the wounds and everything from probably at least a week, maybe a few weeks ago. You're not sure. They're not decomposed that badly. But this doesn't look like the work of goblins, is what you can definitely gauge. The goblins just happen to be scavengers, from what you can understand right now. They did not actually kill these men. You don't actually find that many materials, though you do find a sack of coins. And if you open the sack and look into them, you have a similar sack to what Marius has in a bag of circular, it appears to be almost lead coins with square shapes punched out of the center. And they have kind of odd scrawlings around the sides and very strange images imprinted upon them. With that roll, you also do find a similar bag full of some powder. Go ahead and make me, for you, a -10 intelligence test to discover what this powder is. Well, you know what?
All right.
With your profession, +10 intelligence test because of your profession.
+10.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's a 66 out of 51.
That is a critical failure, unless you'd like to re-roll it. I mean, you can always re-roll it.
Oh, is this for the coins or that powder?
No, this is for it's like a bag of powder. It's a blackish powder.
Yeah, I'll burn 1 point. We'll
Okay.
roll this.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll it then.
That is a 20 out of 51.
Oh, yes. Your intelligence is that high?
Yeah, it's a 41.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, all right. You definitely, you kind of dip your fingers into it and give it a smell. And something, you recognize something about this. You've had a lot of merchants and other people kind of pass through town. Judging from the time back when you probably helped your father out before the gaps in your memory appeared, before you were supposedly drafted into the war with Azavar Kul and the coming of chaos, you remember a very strange little merchant that came to Sealburg trying to peddle his goods. And he smelled really funny, kind of had an odd look about him. But you do remember specifically a very similar powder that he was trying to sell that he claimed could reverse the effects of contagious wounds. So you have and if he was telling the truth, you now are in possession of a container that could probably be used to clean and purify an infected wound.
Yeah.
So you also, if you relay this information to Marius, he will know that he has the same thing.
All right. Yeah, I'll turn around to Marius. I'll show him the container and say, Marius, I think this can clean our wounds and disinfect them.
Oh, that's great.
And with that, that's pretty much all you find. There's not much else on the corpse. There is the odd kind of pieces of wooden armor that you see attached to the corpse still. Looks like the goblins may have fumbled with it, trying to get it off, and they couldn't figure it out. The fastens are different than what you're used to in the Empire. It's definitely a foreign kind of system in place to get them all tied together, but easy enough for these individuals, the pieces that they have on. You could easily strip the pieces off, though putting them on might be difficult, but if you'd like to do that, you definitely see a way to do that.
Is there any like leg armor and stuff? Or is it just like
It's like an odd chest piece here. A couple of them have, two of them specifically, don't even have a chest piece. It's ruined completely. They're essentially out of the three. There is a chest piece, a front and back, that could be salvaged. There is two shoulder pieces that would you could probably strap to either shoulder, and it would count as armor, if that makes any sense. Partial armor to an arm of some kind, but that's it. That's all that's salvageable. The rest of it seems to be ruined. Does the
chest armor seem like?
Go ahead.
Sorry, does the chest armor seem hardier than the leather that we have on?
Make me an evaluate test as you kind of look down at the piece of chest armor.
All right, let's take a look here. Evaluate is. Okay. That is a 6 out of 41.
Okay, so you definitely you give it a knock. You kind of touch it a little bit. It's wood, but it's very treated wood. It is about the equivalent of your leather armor that you're wearing right now. The chest piece is. So you get the idea that these would basically give you one armor. Okay.
With that evaluate roll, would I get a sense of kind of like the value of it? Like
it's a very unique item. You've never this is something that you don't see, but you kind of understand that in the Empire, this would be almost a novelty item. You'd be hard pressed to sell this to somebody as actual functional armor, just because they wouldn't know or understand why you would want to wear pieces of wood on your body. But it might have some value to certain individuals that maybe trade in the odd artifacts and things of that sort. Though you're not quite sure how much it would be worth, just because it's so foreign.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably leave that chest armor just because I don't think it'd be very easy to carry around.
Okay, it's not very heavy, but I mean it is a solid piece of wood. So just keep that in mind if you do want to take it with you.
Okay.
Okay. Seamus, with your earlier roll, I did also forget one thing. You also, as you are shifting the corpse, the one with the hole near the rock face, you also find a kind of bizarre looking red mask underneath like one of the legs. It looks like he was kind of leaned against it, and perhaps it fallen off in the fighting and it's leaned there. So there's a strap around it where you can place it on your face and it will secure. It is red. The features look oddly demonic when you're looking at it. It is also made out of wood, and it does also appear to be almost a rodent-like face, and has long whiskers chiseled into the wood. The craftsmanship is fantastic, but you do also find that if you would like to keep it, or perhaps try it on.
I would. Yeah, I'll keep it. I'll put it over my face and look to Marius and say, Marius, look at me, I'm spooky.
Okay, as soon as you place the mask over your face. I need you to make me a perception test plus 30.
Oh, yeah. Shit. I like this. Alright, so that is a 64 plus 30 would be 81.
Okay. 64 out of 81?
Yes.
Okay, so that is 64, 74. Okay, so a little over 1 degree of success. All right. As soon as you place the mask onto your face, you feel a tingling sensation. And suddenly your nostrils open up. And you immediately can smell the filth of the goblins around the corner. Judging from the scent, they're probably 200-300 feet away from you guys. They appear to still be moving away in some direction. Even though you can't see them, you appear to be able to smell them. You also smell the blood and filth congealed around you, and it's even more intense than it was before. I will need you to make me an endurance test. Just a straight endurance test.
All right. 31 out of 50.
Okay, so you control yourself. You don't vomit inside the mask or anything like that. But you get the idea that you have a very heightened sense of smell while wearing this mask. You also can smell Marius. He is not the most rich individual and might have the odd odor about himself.
What?
So just keep that in mind. You could probably keep track of Marius through your sense of smell. He has a unique scent about him.
Scent of Marius. Calvin Klein.
Exactly. So and I guess you could tell Marius what's going on or anything you want to relay to him.
It's like, Marius, you smell like shit.
Marius looks at him kind of cockeyed and is like, You're no spring rose either, my friend.
And you do smell yourself as well, and it's not the most best smell. But yeah, you do. In addition to this, with just the 1 success level, you can smell dampness. You can smell almost like a subtle breeze, very, very subtle, coming from inside the cave. Or should I say tunnel?
All right. Mayday, so you done searching these bodies?
Yes, friend. I think I am. I'm going to take the shoulder pauldrons.
Okay.
Try to strap them on myself.
Okay, this is going to be fun. So they are very foreign. Yes. You can kind of figure out how to kind of get them off of the corpses. There's one on each. Seamus, are you going to help him attempt to put these on?
I will. Make him
Okay.
look like a fool.
Yeah, you will look like a blundering fool wearing these. But make me so Seamus, if you're putting them on him, make me a dexterity check at -10. Because it is a very unfamiliar act and material.
Yeah. I got a 26 out of 30.
Oh my gosh, you still just a success. Okay, just a success. That's fine. So, Seamus, you saw how these things were kind of stuck to these bodies. You got to get the idea. There's a few ties, there's a few fastens, and Marius kind of lifts his arms up like a guy getting fitted for a suit, and you start attaching the pauldrons, which are just pieces of tiered wood. It's not one solid piece. They appear to be conjoined in some way. It's a unique technique you've never seen. There also is riveting, it looks like, on the sides. They look rather sturdy. So you fasten them to each of his shoulders. He looks ridiculous. They stick up. They stick up probably about 4 to 5 inches above the shoulder, and with the leather piece that he's wearing for on his torso, helmet? He's got this round miner's hat with like a candle on top of it, and then he has 2 pieces of wood strapped to his shoulders. He looks like a fool. And as long as you're wearing this armor, Marius, you will have a -20 to fellowship tests with people of the Empire. Okay. Because you look like a fool, and so that also counts for your charm tests and anything else. So keep that in mind if you want to wear these. Okay. But it does count as 1 armor for both of your arms. Oh, yeah. And it is kind of a unique plate, kind of. So it also has the qualities of the flaws of some of the plate armor, meaning if I roll an even number, it will, or an odd number. Well, it's even. If I roll an even number on an attack against your arms, it will bypass the shoulder guards and hit you somewhere else on the arm. So.
Okay.
Just also keep
they
that
look
in mind.
stylish. Seamus, look at me. I'm a knight.
You look like a handsome man.
Thanks, friend.
There's no sarcasm in
pleased
that.
with himself.
Very pleased, of course. Yeah. So, what would you guys like to do now that you have successfully looted to the full extent as you possibly can these corpses?
Oh, Seamus, I think we should probably explore this cave a little. But how about we go down a little ways and get out of the range of these goblins, and then set up a camp in there and rest up and heal our wounds.
You lead the way. You look very strapping now in your armor.
Are you still wearing the mask, Seamus?
I probably am.
Okay. Awesome. So he's a little muffled underneath it. There's not like slits for the mouth. So just keep that in mind
like
as well.
Bane.
Yeah, a little bit.
You look quite strapping in your armor. Why don't you wear your hat and go inside the cave and lead me inside?
That sounds good, friend. That mask gives your voice a peculiar tone. I take my my little, I think it's a matchbox and or tinderbox, and light the candle on my helmet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It looks glorious as you light it.
I have a torch as well. Can I give that to Seamus? I'm gonna give it to Seamus.
Yep. Hands it over to you, Seamus.
I'm gonna light it with the candle on top of my head.
Yes. Oh, that's also glorious.
And,
okay, I enjoyed this.
And here you go, my friend. Let's take it slow.
Take it slow.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that there might be some type of traps. I don't know what happened to these poor fools out here, but I don't want it to be some kind of dwarven trap or goblin booby trap or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to take like a... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Anything we come across in this tunnel, it would be quite afraid of you.
Is this a Bane voice? Clearly. Is that what we're doing now?
I'm wearing a mask. No one cares what I was.
That is true. Okay. I will also say this. In low light, you're probably going to have... Because... and the way the mask is constructed, your perception tests with your eyes are not going to be the best. So just keep that in mind if you're walking in a dark tunnel. Just want to throw that out there. You can smell fantastically.
I'm taking it off.
Okay. All right. You slide it off.
Once we get inside, I'm gonna slide it off.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you enter the tunnel.
Yeah.
The smells immediately. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as we move in, just before you start moving us too much. I just want to be kind of actively looking for traps.
Okay. In that case, give me... Okay, so give me an intuition test.
Okay. Let's see what my intuition is real quick. Intuition is just I, right?
I want to say... That's initiative.
Is that
Let me make
initiative?
sure. Let me do the skill, because it's an actual skill you can use.
It's a skill.
Yeah,
Okay.
intuition is
It's
initiative.
Oh, is it initiative? Let me make sure. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's based off
It
of
is, it
initiative.
is.
So if you
Okay.
don't have it, then that's what it is.
Okay. Okay. And that's just a regular roll.
Yes, it's going to be a regular roll. Since you,
Oh, gee.
yeah, since you don't have the, you don't have experience with these kinds of things yet. So,
Yeah. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. That's gonna be a 92 out
Yes.
of 24.
okay, good. I like this. Unless you want to re-roll it. I mean,
No, let's let it roll.
Let's say let it roll. Okay.
Let's
I like
do
that.
this.
All right. So you light the candle, you light the torch on top of your head, which is really funny to watch, Seamus. You hold him like a candelabra, holding up a torch above his head, lights it, then hands the torch back to you. How far down the tunnel do you guys want to go? Now, as far as you can see with the light illuminates about, the candle light illuminates about 30 feet in front of you. It is completely dark in this tunnel as you start moving forward. It appears to be straight, but it's going down at a slight angle, very gradually. Now, Seamus, as you entered, you could smell further down the tunnel, and you could smell that it's very damp. There appears to be some kind of water source maybe further down. You got a little bit of a scent of that. You also got the smell of probably like wet fur or something like that. Very faint smell, so there's probably animals or something in here. More than likely rats of some kind. But as soon as you shifted the mask off so that you could see better in the tunnel, all those scents vanished, so you're not exactly sure how far or how deep this goes. So how deep would you guys want to travel before stopping?
I'm thinking like maybe enough distance where we can still kind of see like the faint light of the cave entrance.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
but-
You're still leading the way, Marius?
Yeah, I'm leading the way.
Yes, with your excellent skill for looking out for traps. You're
Yes.
a little on edge, just because of the nature of how the wall even shifted. You get the idea that there are mechanical things that you can't see going on around you. The tunnel is the same size as the doorway that you entered through. So it's not very large. There's not a lot of room to maneuver. Marius, you get the idea that if you were fighting in this tunnel with your pick, your two-handed pick, you might have enough to swing, but there might be a test involved to see if it catches on the wall or not. Likewise, Seamus, this is close quarters, and if something were to be in front of Marius, there would not be a probably good angle to get a shot at with the crossbow. You might have to rely on melee weapons if you don't want to risk damaging your friend. But that might not come to pass. But you guys both kind of gauge that as you're walking through. You travel probably another 50 yards into this tunnel, and you notice that there's a slight curve now. So if you crest this curve, you won't be able to see the entrance any longer. But there are no offshoots as of yet.
Okay. There's no opening, I guess.
There's no opening
Like
yet
like
that
a-
you can see
Okay.
with the 30 feet that you kind of getting off of the candle.
Okay. So even if I look around the corner, I still can't see anything.
No, because it's a
in the
very
distance.
subtle curve, and you get the idea. If you travel
Okay.
any more around this curve, you're going to lose sight of the entrance.
Okay. Seamus, my friend, what do you think we should do? Should we try to set up a little area here to rest up, or should we continue moving it down?
I'm fond of a rest. I took some arrows in the last time, so could use a little rest.
All right, all right. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of look around a little bit, see if I can kind of lay out like a bedroll. I guess I probably wouldn't need the tent.
It is getting darker from outside, from what you can tell. So it's about time. It's very late in the afternoon. The sun appears to be probably going down. So it would be right about time to probably bed down if you would like. It might be a little early, but not too early for sleeping, as far as you can tell. There is enough space for you to lay a bedroll down easily. It's not you're not like cramped. This isn't like a one-person tunnel. You can easily both stand shoulder to shoulder if you wanted to. So there's enough space to kind of do that, though. As far as shelter, you are out of the elements, and there's a very subtle breeze, but nothing that's going to really disturb you. You probably don't need to set up like a tent or anything unless you would like to.
Okay.
And there is enough space if you want to try to set up a fire or something. You can do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. Do we have materials for a fire? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you?
For a fire.
Do you guys have anything you can make a fire with?
Is that listed with? Is that listed
Oh no!
with anything in
Oh no!
particular?
That would stuff you'd have to collect. If somebody took my advice and took outdoor survival, they might be able to find something.
I do have outdoor survival.
Oh man, you got it. You could make a check and see what we can scrounge up.
Let me see here. Yeah, I do have outdoor survival. I'll make a check.
Okay, go ahead and make a check real quick, since you guys are bedding down for the night.
Okay. That is going to be 29 out of 41.
29 out of 41. Okay, so you easily,
Yes.
you're gauging the curve in the tunnel, and there's no light in here. It's a very foreign environment. You're used to being in the mine, at least, but this is very cramped compared to the mine proper. But you kind of find a nice space that you think is probably just a little bit wider than the rest, where you and Seamus could easily at least get a decent rest, you hope, out of the elements. You don't set up a tent. You don't need to, judging from the environment you're in. You do find some... It looks like some broken pieces of wood of something. You look at it. It's scattered about the floor in front of you, just around the curve a little bit. You wander a little bit farther away from Seamus. You're not sure what it is. It seems to be in a cylindrical shape. So it might have been a spear or a weapon of some kind. Multiple weapons at that. They're kind of just shattered in different pieces about the floor, but you gather them up. They appear that with your keen eye, that they are would make an easily fuel for a small fire in here. Also, with your check, you do realize that the fire will have to be small. It will not be a large fire, otherwise you guys might choke to death and die. So you make a small fire. With that check, do you also, this is your option.
Okay.
You also do find some, it looks like mushrooms growing in the cave. You don't know anything about mushrooms, but you found some mushrooms.
Okay.
And you can eat mushrooms. I mean, they're cave mushrooms. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
But you find some mushrooms, and you can choose to collect them and bring them back, or do as you will.
I might collect a few.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll eat them, but I'll collect a few.
Okay. You get some mushrooms. Seamus, make me a perception test as Marius is walking back from collecting mushrooms.
Ooh, 66 out of 51.
Critical failure once again. That's fantastic. I definitely like this.
Twice he's rolled 66.
Yeah, that's impressive. I don't know what the odds are of doing that, but I'm sure it's pretty rare. You just see Marius kind of wander back into the low light of the fire that he set up a second ago. Not quite sure what the hell he was doing away from camp, but he comes back. You guys are free to either have a snack, cook some mushrooms. I'm not going to say you don't cook the mushrooms. It could be a good pastime for all. Or eat some rations, whatever you guys want to do. Or you can just go to sleep.
I still think I'm pretty satisfied with my Bugman's Ale. I should be kind of winding it down, but
it's at this point it's starting to wear off, and you will have noticed you only had one meal today, if that counts as a meal. So just keep that in mind. You're sustained for the day, but you might be getting a little hungry come morning time.
Yeah. I will.
Likewise, Seamus, you actually are full because you drank some Bugmans right before coming in here.
I did.
So you are actually, and you have no fear for the next 10 hours. So, this isn't scary at all to you. You're just kind of in here, kind of wandering around, doing what's what. But you're definitely full. You don't feel the need to drink anything or eat.
Question about the resting.
Yes.
How does that heal again? How does that work?
So you guys are taking a rest. The way this is going to work is if you get a full rest, we'll see in the morning. If you get a full rest, you get your toughness bonus back in wounds. Plus, you will make a plus 20 endurance test. And whatever your success level is how many additional wounds you will get back for the next day.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know if I eat anything quite yet. I might wait for the morning to eat my rations. Okay,
that's fine. So you guys find a good spot. You guys just gonna immediately go to rest?
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. How about you, Seamus?
I took a spear to the face.
You did.
I probably. I'm pretty. I'm feeling fearless, so I might just stay up for a little bit and just flip that dagger around in my hand.
Got it. Okay. Well, I guess that will count as a watch. I was hoping you'd both go to sleep without taking watch, but that's fine.
Oh yeah. This is counting as a watch.
Got it. Okay, so you see Marius get comfy by the kind of low fire that he's made. And he easily drifts off to sleep. Go ahead and make me a perception test, Seamus.
That is a 40 out of 51.
Okay, so easily pass. You a few hours go by, probably 3-4 hours go by. It's definitely dark outside. The sun is completely gone. You do see a faint light of the moon. Appears to be obscured, probably some clouds of some kind, something out there. You do start to hear the slow dripping of water from the cave entrance. You can't see that far, but you get the idea that it's probably a very thin rain. Not thin rain. A light rain. Thin rain. Come on. There's a light rain outside. Not like a mist or anything, but there's actually some droplets out there. You get the idea that a storm might be brewing outside. But you do hear that. You do also hear a very subtle noise from further down the tunnel, the direction you guys are traveling. It echoes back and forth. It sounds almost like a rock or something skidding across the ground. But that's all you hear. It's pretty far away. You're not quite sure how far, because sound carries very well in the underground as you are now. And you don't have a lot of experience inside mountains outside of just going into the mine briefly earlier today. So it might put you a little on edge, except it won't because of Bugman's Ale. So you are just
Bugman's Ale.
You are just a steadfast, stone cold dude. It doesn't bother you at all. If something comes, you'll handle it. But a few hours pass, and then even you start to feel the pull of sleep. Are you going to arouse Marius to take over watch, or are you just going to drift?
Yeah, I'll get close to Marius and I'll whisper in his ear. Marius, wake up.
Oh yeah, very sexually.
Marius is a little bit scared. That wasn't weird. That's normal. He kind of chuckles and then gets up.
Yes.
My turn for watch.
Yeah. Nothing to be afraid of, just things that go bump in the night. All right, I'm gonna get some sleep. See ya.
All right, I'll light my candles again on my head.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'll,
Okay.
And I'll take my watch.
Okay. We'll say it's been more than 4 hours. It's probably been like 6 or 7. So you would have gotten a full rest. But go ahead and make me a perception test plus 20 for the candle on your head being lit.
Plus 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 10 out of 50.
All right. Good. So you easily stay alert. And, despite Seamus's kind of nonchalant warning and his creepy waking you up in that very Brokeback Mountain-ish way, you have your wits about you. You can tell that it's raining outside. The storm's starting to pick up, and you can hear the wind kind of whistling towards the entrance. You hear some more clattering further down the tunnel where Seamus kind of said there was bumps in the night. You hear a couple stones clattering back and forth.
Okay.
You, however, you know your way around in the tunnels decently enough. You get the idea that it's probably 300, 400 feet down the tunnel, judging from the distance of the echo. You're not quite sure if it's in a side room or something. There might be this tunnel. You're not quite sure where this tunnel goes, but you get the idea that you have about that distance from wherever this noise kind of emanated from. But besides that, you don't hear much else. You do. Right towards the end, right before you probably about to arouse Seamus and probably get going, you do hear a muffled noise coming from the direction of the cave entrance. But you don't see anything. You don't see anything. You just kind of hear it. You only hear it once, and that's it. That's all you hear.
Son of a bitch. All right. I guess does Seamus wake up by himself, or do I need to wake him up?
Okay.
Did he wake himself up, or do I need to wake him up?
Seamus, how are you feeling?
Probably sleeping pretty good,
Okay. So you might need to be roused.
All right. I give him a nice Marius shove.
With like Marius full strength shove, or
No.
okay, a good nudge.
But I just nudge him.
Okay, you startle awake Seamus. Both of you Make me a plus 20 endurance test.
Okay. Let's see what my endurance is.
I got a 38 out of 70.
Okay, so that's 40. So you gain 3 plus your toughness bonus and wounds back. So is that 8 for you?
Yes.
Yes, so you recover 8 wounds for your rest.
I rolled a. You said it was plus 20, right?
Yes.
Okay, I rolled a 32 out of 77.
77. Holy shit. Your endurance is pretty good, huh?
Yeah. It is, yeah.
So 32, 42, 72. So, okay, so that's 4 plus your toughness bonus is what you get back in wounds.
Okay. Nice. Almost back up to full health.
All right, almost, but not quite. So there's still a couple scrapes and bruises that you kind of feel. Definitely under the eye, where you were gouged horribly.
Yeah.
The blood is stopped. It hasn't been bleeding much at all, but there's still a hole where the bruising is still there, and your eyelid's a little closed. Not enough to affect your vision, but just a little more shut than the other eye. The left eye is than the right. But in this low light, you'll be fine. You know, it's fine. So there is that. Go ahead.
I guess if Seamus is kind of waking up now, Seamus, my friend, I think those green little shits are up at the mouth of the cave there. I heard them snickering or chatting away or something up there. Should we move down deeper into the cave, or should we head back up and deal with them?
It's up to you, mates. They don't really bother you as much as you. You kind of went into a blind rage and, chucked the spear. Chucked the spear at one running away.
It's that little thing stabbed me in the face. I don't know what comes over me when someone attacks my face. It's kind of my shtick, my deal. What would Sweet Sarah think if I just came back just totally scarred?
I'll slap his new wooden armor. Say, well, there's only one way to put this to test. You went out there and kill him.
That's true. That is true. I got an idea though. How about how far away from the entrance are we?
You guys are about 50 yards, so about 150 feet from the entrance.
Okay. So a pretty good distance, I guess.
Yeah, a pretty good distance. You wouldn't. I mean, at a sprint, you could probably make it out there pretty quick. But
yeah. How about we move in a little bit closer to the entrance? Maybe about 60 feet out. Once we get there, we can make a big loud noise, and see if maybe that will scare them away. Unless you want to try to sneak up and take them by surprise.
I can put my mask on and maybe they'd be terrified of me.
All right. So I guess we I'll probably start rolling up the bedroll.
Okay. Yeah. You guys go ahead and break camp. It's easy enough. Just kind of stomp out the fire. There won't be any checks involved.
Okay.
Are you keeping your lamp, your little headlamp lit? Your candle.
Good question. I probably would leave it on till about 60 feet.
Yes.
And then see what happens then.
Yeah. Okay.
See what happens then.
All right. So you guys are going in darkness. You're heading towards the entrance, so you can see the entrance. That is.
Yeah.
So there won't be any tests involved. So you start moving that direction. Are you trying to be stealthy?
I guess we'll try to be stealthy until we get to 60 feet to the entrance,
Okay.
I guess.
So go ahead and make me those stealth rolls then.
All right. This could be bad.
Stealth, agility. Oh shit!
I got a. Oh shit! That's pretty good. I got a 34 out of 26.
Okay. So you failed. Got it. How about you,
Can I-
Seamus?
I rolled
You
a
rolled a
2 out of 27.
2 out of 27?
That's right.
Okay. Did you want to burn that fortune point, Marius?
Yeah, I think I'll burn fortune point for a success.
Okay,
Can I do
yeah,
that?
you got a success.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
both, I mean, yeah, with a 2 especially, man, you guys are silent. Who's leading this time?
Ooh. I'm assuming Marius because this is
Kind of
his vendetta.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Marius, you're kind of crouched low, leading the way. Seamus, do you put the mask on?
Yeah, when we get within range, I'll put the mask on.
Okay, yeah. So you're slowly creeping up there, and you can hear more of the chittering outside. It's muffled. You don't see anything in the entrance or anything like that, but you do still hear it actively outside the cave entrance. You reach to the 60-foot perimeter of where you established from the cave mouth. You can still hear the chittering outside, but you guys have easily, without falling down or your pick gouging into the wall next to you, you easily avoided all of those things and are now at the 60-foot mark.
All right.
So, do we run out together and scare them, or you want to be real stealthy and
That's up to you, friend.
quick and quiet?
Is it still dark outside, or is it daylight outside? Right.
It's still dark, actually. It's dark.
Okay.
From your internal clock, you're not like a human timepiece or anything, but you get the idea that it is early morning. You wouldn't have quite risen this early normally, but you get the idea that within a few hours there might be daylight, but right now it's still dark outside.
I say we try the shock and awe. Just yell and run up. See what we can scare away, and then take out the stragglers.
All right. I'm going to slide that dagger out of the sheath.
Okay. You've got it unsheathed. Are you just gonna hold it?
Yeah, I'm gonna currently hold it.
Okay. I'm assuming the crossbow is across the back then.
Yeah, it is strapped across the back.
All right. Are you putting the mask on?
What was that?
Are you gonna put the mask on?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make me another perception test plus 30.
Does the mask count as armor?
It does not count as armor.
Oh, good try.
Good try. Good try.
What was the perception? Was it plus 30?
Yeah, plus 30.
I rolled a 12 out of 81.
Holy shit. So as soon as you put it on, you kind of lose vision a little bit. You can still see through the small slits. You can see the entrance of the cave, but you smell Marius once again. Him being this close to you, it's an even more pungent scent coming off of him. You can smell that he has some kind of foliage of some kind of damp, earthy smell in one of his pouches. You can smell it kind of wafting out of it. You immediately recognize it as this is some kind of mushrooms he probably has on him. It's somewhere. It's kind of tucked away somewhere on his body, but you smell it, and you didn't smell it the day before or earlier today. You do. Also, you can immediately smell outside. Despite the rain from last night, there are scents wafting in from the cave's mouth, and you can smell the telltale smell of several goblins that are in the vicinity of the cave mouth. You smell at least 7 distinct goblin-like smells with that test.
All right.
All right. Now Marius looks at Seamus. I'm probably going to keep my candles probably lit since it's dark outside still, I guess. I want to be able to, to somewhat see what I'm hitting, you know? But I'm going to just start, like, kind of using the bass in his voice to kind of do kind of a low growl. It's kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
and just keep on doing it, and just keep on, like, making it louder and there.
Okay.
And just start progressing further and further up the mouth of the cave until about 30 feet. Has anything happened?
Okay, go ahead and make me a let's make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Given the conditions, make it a plus 20.
Oh shit! Let me see here. What is that? Okay, let's give it a roll. That's gonna be a 53 out of 75.
Okay, so that is 2 levels of success. All right. You start with the low growl, real deep, and you start moving forward slowly. And Seamus, you can smell from out there. You can smell. Well, you can both hear the goblins kind of chittering more quickly to each other. And then Seamus, you smell an odd scent, a very strange scent. One of the goblins is kind of pushed. You see a shadow fall over the entrance of the cave, and he peeks his head. Peeks his head in. And the low grumble keeps getting closer and closer. And Seamus, you smell the pungent aroma of shit splatter down his leg across the stone below him. And he just and he takes off running in some direction. And then suddenly the rest of the goblin scents just disappear almost instantly. They are running, scared to death of whatever might be inside this tunnel that was not here yesterday.
Does Seamus tell me about this?
I don't know. Does Seamus tell you about this? You do see
How far away?
You're about 30 feet from the entrance. You do see the goblin, and you see him scream and then run off.
Okay.
But Seamus would know that the smells dissipate.
I'll probably get, like, once we're at the 30 feet, just kind of make a kind of a bestial roar, just kind of like,
Oh
just
yeah,
kind of like echo, and just for a good measure to keep them away.
yes, indeed.
I kind of look at Seamus to see if he's better at seeing things than I am, so I don't know if he detected anything.
Mm-hmm.
Was it just the one that ran away, or did all of them run away?
You get the idea that from the sense that they are all gone, that they fled after seeing their lookout shit himself. They all literally ran away. So there is that.
And I'll pull the mask off and walk up to Marius like, Marius, you made that one shit himself and they fucked off.
Oh, it's good news. I must confess, my friend, I wanted to kill a few more. It's a little bit of a shame.
I know. Maybe if you weren't so scared, you could have cut their ears off.
That's true. That's true.
Dang.
You just cost yourself some money, man.
Yes, you did.
know.
It's money gone.
Next time, there'll always be greenskins. And then I guess we should head back down the cavern here.
Aye. Let's
All
get
right.
back to work.
All right. You, with your headlamp still lit now, you begin tracing back the steps that you've taken. Not too far from where you are now. You get the idea that those goblins are probably not returning, at least from that direction. But
Yeah.
now that a new day has set, I need you to make me perception checks yet again. Seamus, you're not wearing the mask anymore, correct?
I am not wearing it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to assume we have the same marching order, but go ahead and make me those perception checks.
I got a 19 out of 51.
Okay, good. How about you, Marius?
I got a 13 out of. Sorry, I think it's 24.
24? Okay. Well, regardless, it's still a pass.
Damn, your perception's that low.
No,
Yes,
no,
it
it's
is.
I'm sorry, it's 30. It's 30. So
Okay.
a little
Okay.
better.
Okay, a little better. So you get you easily you keep your way. You have about 30 feet of candlelight, and then if you strain your eyes, you can see a little bit further. But you keep this path. It does the subtle veering off to the left, and at a downward angle as you're still motioning forward. And Seamus, you would recognize this first. That suddenly the noises are sounding a little muffled coming from up ahead. You've been hearing the dripping of water of some kind. You assume there's some body of water or something further ahead. But the closer you're getting, the more muffled the sound is, if that makes any sense. You are, at this point, have now moved another... You've been walking for probably 30 minutes in this tunnel. So you've covered a decent amount of ground inside this tunnel, and it's been just the same direction with the same curve about it the entire time. Hear this muffled kind of noise from up ahead, and suddenly, Marius, with you leading the way, you have 30 feet, so you don't like stop in your tracks, but you notice that there appears to be a cave-in. It appears that at some point the roof or something has given way, and the tunnel goes no further. It's just completely stacked from foot to ceiling. There appears to be a small gap towards the top is where you've been hearing the noises, but the closer you've gotten, the more distorted the sound has gotten. So there is something on the other side. It just appears blocked for the moment. Now, as soon as you approach this and the light kind of illuminates it, Seamus, with your very high perception test, you see on the ground, it appears that there are tracks. Looks like something has passed through here. In a bit of a hurry. There is like a fine, almost like silt, like sand across the ground, just with age and the elements and everything wafting in through the tunnel. But there are tracks. It looks like footprints, but they're disheveled, like a lot of feet have come through here. And they don't lead in the direction of the cave-in. They lead off to your right. And you look over there, and there is a very easy to miss opening in the tunnel face. It appears that there's been something draped across it, like some kind of material, like a canvas of some kind, and it almost completely blends in with the tunnel. But you, with your perception test, notice there's a little piece dangling out of the way, and you see that there is another opening right here.
Let's look to Marius and say, Marius, look at these footprints here. Look to go into this tunnel that somebody tried to hide.
Oh, Sigma. I wouldn't have seen it. Good eye, friend.
I can't tell what they are by the footprints, but looks like there might be a lot of them.
He starts to chuckle a little. I've got a bad feeling, Seamus. I think we're gonna have to kill a lot of things.
Well, good thing you're dressed for the job, mate.
Thank you. I blush a little.
Yeah, they look. You look
Oh,
bloody
God.
terrifying.
All right.
I kind of like admiring my shoulder pauldrons. Like, yeah, you know.
Wow, this is turned into okay. So
Yeah.
So you, Seamus, you do notice it's very it's just canvas. You can remove it easily enough, or you could try to duck inside or anything of that sort.
I might I'll probably just duck inside.
Okay. Are you going first, or is Marius going first in?
I will go first,
Okay.
unless it's going to affect us with the light.
Are you removing the canvas?
I was going to duck under it.
Okay. As soon as you
push it out
duck,
of the way
so
and go
as
in.
soon as you lift it up, you feel heat. It feels warm, not like uncomfortably warm, but much warmer than the tunnel you're in. You get the idea that you're not sure what it is, but there appears to be like a warm draft coming from further down this tunnel, and you do see that the sides of the tunnel, as you open it up, it's very small, only enough for probably one person at a time to enter, and it appears that it has been crudely tunneled by something. Judging from the scrapes on the wall as you lift up the canvas, it appears to be done with clawed hands. There you do see like blackish blood scattered across the tops and the sides of the tunnel, and it definitely was not an original piece to this entrance that you're assuming was for the Dwarven mine. But it appears that something has tunneled in here, and it is not the most stable environment that you're seeing, but you are also feeling that heat coming in, and there is a dim light, very, very dim light coming from around another slight bend, this time in the opposite direction of the other tunnel, probably about 100, 150 feet away. So you can see barely. But without more light, you're not going to see exactly what's in front of you until you hit whatever that light source is.
Is there a way I can check to see like what might have dug this tunnel?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me
If I see.
Do you have any? Okay, what kind of skills do you have that might aid you in this?
Perception. Probably the only
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Or evaluate.
No. Make me a
What about Marius? Does Marius have any?
No, that's up to Marius. Seamus, I will allow you to make a perception test at -20
Okay.
to figure out what this is or what you think it might be.
You know, Marius is the miner.
Or Seamus, that's for you. Marius, what kind of skills do you think you bring to the table?
I've got outdoor survival. So
Uh-huh.
if it looks like a natural, like a beast maybe or something that did it. You mentioned it looked like
You know
claw
what?
marks.
Yeah, go ahead and make me that survival roll. It'll be a straight roll.
Okay.
And Seamus, you can make me that perception minus 20 if you like.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's not too good. Yeah. I rolled a 57 out of 41.
Okay. Do you want to roll it again, or you want to just...
No.
Okay. All right. You're kind of glancing under. Do you have your candle still lit?
I do.
Yes. So the room's illuminated at this point when Marius kind of ducks under. You're both inside. It's close quarters. You can only one person in front of the other, and with Seamus, you being as tall as you are, you actually have to kind of hunch down a little bit to be in this tunnel, probably about a foot or so. You're kind of hunched your shoulders forward. Marius, you stand fine. You're not that tall. But,
I'm 5'8".
But you're 5'8". Plus with the candle, so you probably do have to tilt your head forward a little bit to not smash the candle against the top of the ceiling here.
Yeah, don't smash that candle.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
I rolled an 11 out of 31 on that perception.
Well, that's a critical success at that. Not only okay, so Marius, you duck your head under, and you can tell just from your activities in the mind that this is not natural. This was dug somehow. You have no idea how, but something dug into the side of this dwarven, assuming dwarven tunnel of some kind.
Yeah.
Which is also, to your knowledge, Marius, is very difficult to do because the dwarves tend to brace their tunnels. Don't know why exactly. You haven't asked a dwarf before, but for some reason they seem to try to protect the sides of their tunnels from certain things trying to break into them. It's kind of weird like that. Like there's something that lives in the mountains that tries to tunnel into their stuff. It's very odd, but regardless, you get the idea that there's that. Now, Seamus, with your critical success on a perception test, you, as you're glancing around, this is still a very foreign environment to you, but you're glancing around and you notice the sides of the tunnel, particularly once Marius gets in there and illuminates it, that it looks like clawed hands. Almost human-like, but it looks like claws, like bestial claws. And you get the idea that these, and from the faint smell and the kind of coming off of the marks and everything, you immediately recognize a little bit of the smell. It is actually caked into several of the claw marks where it looks like there's this blackish blood that's kind of dried. But in the environments of this cave, with the heat that you're feeling now and the kind of moisture in the air, you get a smell, and it immediately jogs your memory. And it smells exactly like the creature you chased through Sealburg. The blood does, at least. The one that you face planted into the dirt, attempting to climb a building to. So that exact creature is the one you smell. But you immediately make that connection, and you get the idea that, and it must have been a bunch of these creatures somehow tunneled with their hands and feet into this dwarven mine.
I'll turn to Marius and say, Marius, this is very similar to that creature that stabbed you.
You gotta be a little more specific, friend. I've been stabbed a lot.
That's very true, mates. That's this would be the one that stabbed you in Sealburg on the rooftop.
Oh yes, the beastman.
You know, when that cart broke and I face planted it into the dirt.
Yes, I do remember that. He threw 2 daggers at me. Got one right in my chest. You think it's one of those? Those things were quick.
It's got a familiar vibe here with this blood and what that smell.
think we should get ready for a fight.
All right. Are you guys continuing forward?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Gotta get the silver piece, bro.
All right. You gotta get the silver piece. Are weapons at the ready?
Yes, my pick is.
Okay. You're in front, Seamus. So Marius is behind
Yep.
you, which is fantastic. Your entire body is blocking the corridor.
I know.
So do you have? Are you going to use the crossbow? Do you have the dagger still out? The knife?
Yeah, I would probably have the dagger out just because it's such like tight quarters.
Okay. Yes. All right. Good. You guys start moving forward. Seamus, make me a perception check since you're in the lead.
16.
Okay, 16. How many levels is that for you?
It's out of 51, so let's see.
16, 26, 36, So it's about three success levels.
Yeah.
All right. So man, I can't believe you got that. Wow. Okay. You guys start moving forward, and the heat is starting to get more intense. Not uncomfortable, but there's some source of heat down here. It's definitely a different environment than the tunnel you came from. And the light starts to take on a bit of a hue. It's a bluish light that you're starting to see seeping around the edges of this tunnel as it's curving. And then suddenly, after you cover about 150 feet, you kind of take a sharp turn, and the tunnel is just open. There is a massive room. It's about the size of the Thaggy. That's how large this room is. It's about the size of the entire building. There are very strange-looking glowing stones, the bluish glow that you've been seeing, that are placed in, they look like these bizarre torch sconces around the edges of the room. But there's a glowing stone inside each of them. The only doorway you see is the one you just came from. You don't see anything else. You are looking about the room, and there are odd symbols etched onto the floor in a circular pattern. And the circles revolve around a pedestal, which is in the center of the room. This room you're probably about 100 feet across, and it is circular in nature. The pedestal looks like just a piece of rock, also carved in a circular pattern. It's about 4 feet off the ground, so you can't see what's on top of it from where you're at, but if you got closer, you could. But there are these strange runes just everywhere, and weird patterns across the floor. And you see a cross, and at this point, I'm assuming you let Marius in behind you. So you guys are both seeing this. You see across the room from you, directly across, you see what looks like the frame of a door, but there's just smooth rock inside of what should be some kind of frame. And the frame is actually made out of these bizarre geometric kind of angular symbols and things like that. Very strange, and it kind of hurts your eyes a little bit just looking at them. It's just a bizarre makeup of it. With your 3 successful perception checks, you also, through the very dim light, you look up and you can see that the ceiling of this room is probably somewhere around 20, 30 feet tall. And as you're glancing around, you look up and you see 2 figures, completely motionless. You just see 4 beady little red eyes, and they're just hanging up in the darkness across the room from you, looking at you. And there appears to be a small hole of some kind in between them.
All right.
Question. Quick question.
Yes.
Does this architecture look Dwarven
Okay.
in nature?
So,
Like the like the altar like structure in the middle?
so
Altar?
Marius, as soon as you kind of get a good view, Seamus is a little distracted. He looks a little upset when he looks up, but you're almost completely distracted by what's around you. You notice immediately a ton of these symbols directly reflect what was on that scroll that you had. The very bizarre angles they don't appear to be Dawi in nature. It's a very foreign shape, and in fact, it is even different from the kind of motifs and shapes you saw scrawled on the strange men that you've been coming across. So this is something completely, almost alien in nature. That's about as much as you can understand. Now, what happens next is going to depend on Seamus's next move. So, Seamus, what do you do at this point?
So I see 4 red eyes in the ceiling.
They appear to be just hanging from the ceiling. You can only see the eyes. You can see the outlines of the figures with your perception check, but they're not moving. You can just see 4 beady red eyes.
They're staring at us.
They're blank orbs. So you can't tell exactly where they're looking, but you're assuming they're looking in your direction.
Is there any cover where we are?
It is a completely open room.
Oh, jeez.
Now, it is 100 feet across, and it's a circular pattern, so this is a large space. The only cover, if you want to call it cover, would be the pedestal in the center of the room. It's about 4 feet tall, and it's about 2 feet wide. And it is also in a circular shape, straight up. So there might be some cover, maybe. That would be it, though. You'd have to kind of crouch down behind it.
Can I see anything like on that pedestal?
Not from here, you can't. It looks flat on the top.
All right. Kind of like tap Marius on the shoulder. So yeah, maybe we should maybe take a stealthy approach to this pedestal in the middle.
So,
All right.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Marius would go, "Why, my friend? I don't see anyone here."
But I look at the ceiling. I see some four red circles.
Are
don't know
you
what they are.
how loud are you talking right now?
Like a very hushed, not like a whisper, but
Okay. Do you glance up in their direction when you're doing this?
yes.
As soon as you glance up and start whispering to Marius, we're going to take our first break. And we will find out what happens when we come back.